kill the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun die or die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We was slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. UPK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard, they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, this what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this is an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof, that is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
Yeah. I want West in I place once more. Yeah, easy. You wanna know where I come from? You wanna know where I come from? I don't pan the Middle East, but y'all out the West want get the kid peace. Me tip over to pretty Christine. A big broad smile and giggling teeth. Have a brand new 4-5 pretty crisp clean. Me deal with the chica press pretty pristine. Them say them bad but we no intrigue. If you this now your top 10 killing increase. And we no join both sides. I one West are the best you fi know boy. You put a S on your chest when the chrome pint. Every bone a broke when left lone tribe. Make a force right boy if you know your size. Don't see me on the street and a force fight. You get ratchet knife in your throat pipe. Man will make your chop flesh like your ghost rise. Give up the ghost, make it both wise. Y'all shut up, bend over, pan to a pint. Fuck you, make you get wet like a boat ride. If you hold tight, y'all, me a hold tight. Alright, no later, then more time. Me have things to do, but got more fight. Look you at the nanny, girl, do a bright. Then we shoot the bumbo clad, you a grind. That's where me come from. I don't pan the Middle East, but y'all out the West one get the kid piece. Me step over to pretty crispin. A big broad smile and giggling teeth. Have a brand new 4-5 pretty crisp clean. We deal with the chica press pretty pristine. Them say them bad but we no intrigue. If you this now you talk then yeah, them too bad, I just smoke them off, I just slogan. You coulda big and tough like Hulk Hogan. You get your own a bag, you get total. Send your soul to God, their best no God. The whole fucking clip of your own that. No come set, no chop of your own bat. I go get sent off, we run postal. Get a PO box. She say me handsome, she want hold me cocky at ransom. She want hood fi broke, she want yam some. She say breed me, give me that one son. Boy, we have shotgun, we have Remington, we have Magnum. So if a beef you want, you can have some. Anything we come turn in a phantom. How where we come from? I don't want the Middle East, but y'all out the West one get the kid piece. Me step over to pretty Christine. A big broad smile and giggling teeth. Have a brand new 4-5 pretty crisp clean. We deal with the chica press pretty pristine. Them say them bad but we no intrigue. If you this now you talk them killing increase. Increase. You know, Z. A one was in a building. You know when we come through, just hide the gal them and hide the liquor.
I.S.U.P.K presents the 8th annual Midwest Fire Weekend 2025. A day of brotherhood, sisterhood, food, fun, and unity. We raising funds to cover the barbecue, the food, the drink, bounce houses, snow cones, games, and more, so the whole family can come out and enjoy. Every donation helps us make this day even greater for the community. Support the Midwest Fire Weekend 2025. Click the link below and donate today.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. What's going on? It's Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, right here in the city of Chicago. Coming to let you know about the Midwest Fire Weekend, man. From July 31st all the way to August 3rd, we're going to have an incredible weekend, starting off with Thursday. You understand? The Round Table of Truth podcast with Captain Mawakwa and his whole team. We're going to have an incredible panel. They're going to be bringing heavy topics. You already know how they get down. Then, General YAHANNA breakdown class. Scripture breakdown class. Any questions you got about the Bible or life period, you want to tune in to this class, man. Well, make sure you can be there. You know what I'm saying? Then Friday, so don't stop. We got felony expungement and gun restoration. You got issues with the law? Come check us out, man. We're going to get you right, man. Then after that, lecture by none other than Commanding General YAHANNA. You know what I'm saying? The man over Israel, over so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You want to come to this lecture and get the information you need, man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be called, Where Do We Go From Here? You want to know where you want to go from here, man? With all this stuff going on, come to this lecture, check it out online. You know what I'm saying? Then, after that, Saturday, what we got? We got to come back and give back to our community, man. We're going to be in a little village in Chicago with our brown brothers, so-called Hispanics. We're going to be giving out clothes, food, you know what I'm saying, school supplies, man. Come get what you need, man. Come support this, man. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, of course, we're going to a day party. We got to go kick it with the brothers and sisters in the streets. You know, that's how we do, man, in the I.S.U.P.K, man. This the Midwest Fire Weekend. You know what I'm saying? Then, it don't stop. Sunday, that's when we going to have the cookout. The cookout, black and brown cookout. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have so-called black, so-called Hispanic coming together. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have vendors, free food. Yes, free food. Who don't want free food, man? Come get some free food. Come let your children have a good time. You come have a good time, man. Black and brown cookout. Midwest Fire Weekend. It's gonna go down, man. Make sure you get with us, man. Come enjoy this beautiful city, man. Come enjoy it with the I.S.U.P.K, man. The real priests and prophets of the Lord. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Shabrakatham, to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemalatham, Bashem Yahushua, to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yala with the I.S.U.P.K, which stands for the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. So 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant John YAHANNA. In the stand since 1969, we're giving you nothing but the truth about this Bible, the truth about what's going on around the globe, the truth about your identity. Right. When I say yo, I'm talking about a specific people which are known today as so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, because they're the only people on the face of the earth who have, for lack of better words, no knowledge itself when it comes to an identity. They don't know who they are. They call themselves Black, which is a color. Call themselves Latinos. You know, not knowing what a Latino is according to the definition of a Latino. Listen, the Caribbean people that a lot of Hispanics are beefing with are Latinos. A lot of them, because they're part of Latino America. Some of them speak a Latin language, whether it's French, Portuguese, you understand? Other brothers call themselves Native American. Listen, I understand what you're trying to say when you are a Native American, meaning you are a native to the land, which is America, but that land was never called America before. You know, we're the only people who are given names because we don't know who we are. We can't tell anybody, yeah, you know what? This is who I am. A lot of y'all call yourselves, they put a lampshade on your head, you call yourself the Moors. It's crazy work. You know, and for all my Hispanic brothers and sisters to call yourself a Mayan or Azteca or Inca, as if these are the only three identities as you know from so-called Mesoamerica. Why are you not a Toltec? Why are you not a Nahuatl? You know, the reason why we call ourselves by a certain name is because the white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, and he's the one where we get the knowledge from of who we are. And this is why it's so important to be in these classes, because we giving you your identity according to your records, not according to the white man's records, not according to some falsified documents or some bogus, DNA test. You go by the DNA test of the white man, and you know what he says? He says you're 15% Jewish. How can you be 15% of a religion? If you can be 15% Jewish, might as well be 10% Muslim, 30% Christian, 5% Hindu. You understand? That's why you can't go by everything that the white man tells you. The white man tells you that the Bible belongs to him. Come to find out, the people of the Bible, the chosen people of the Bible, are colored people. They happen to be you, so-called Black men, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indians. You know, the white man tells you that you should not believe in this book because it belongs to him, but he doesn't even go by the book that he claims that belongs to him, because he really doesn't. And a lot of y'all going to be like, you know what? We should reject the book because it's the white man's book. But don't reject the Art of War, which is written by a Chinese man. Y'all a bunch of hypocrites. Let's be real. You know, what you need to understand is that our oppressor is a devil. And all these nations who are oppressing us under him are no better. Whether it's the Asians, the East Indians, the Arabs, the Africans, they all have one and same agenda. And that has been prophesied. You know, it's not like something that was made up. You see that everything in the Bible is real. It's not. What people call it, but people say it's allegory. You could apply certain things to your life. It's allegory, you know, but it's made up. It's a fairy tale. You know what's not a fairy tale? The transatlantic slave trade is not a fairy tale. And it was prophesied in the Bible. It's part of the curses, or what you call punishments, that will happen to the people of God for disobeying him. You understand? You know what's not made up? You know what's real as well. The fact that these nations are coming against us. You know, they're forming alliances against us. You understand? And I'm going to show you that real quick before we get into the topic of the class, which is that when we're together, when we're united, we're like a closed fist. We're strong. When we're divided, we're like an open palm hand. We're weak. Every single figure gets broken, one after the other, right? But let me show you that these nations gathering together against us is biblical. Everything in the Bible is real. But let's get into it real quick before we get into the topic of the class. We're going to go in the book of Psalms, right? The book of Psalms, chapter 83. Understand this. This is not a metaphor. This is real, you know. And it really pertains to the topic of the class at the end of the day. Because some of those tactics, they came up with some of those tactics by consulting together. You understand? Let's start at verse 2. Book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. I'm going to share my screen. Anyone who has any questions or comments, put it in the chat, right? And if you want to come into the school, just click on the sign in and sign out links in the chat. We'll pull the sign out links before the end of the class. So make sure you click on the sign in links for attendance. Okay. Give me 1 second, Babu Kusha. Is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. It says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." King David, you understand, talking about the enemies of the Most High. Because yes, God has enemies. We're going to see that it's not saying Satan is his enemy. That's not what it's going to say. It's going to identify the enemies of the Most High. And none of them says Satan. None of them says what you perceive as the devil because of the Roman Catholic Church. Understand this, right? Psalm chapter 83, verse 2. "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." What is a tumult? See, the problem is you don't understand basic words. You can't, and to understand the context, you need some time to understand the basic definition of certain words, right? That's really it. For a lot of y'all, besides being allergic to the Bible, y'all are just allergic to reading. Y'all just allergic to books. Look up the definition of words and you'll understand what it's talking about, right? Being tumultuous, for example, comes from the word tumult. If you go in the dictionary, I'm going to go in the Oxford Dictionary on my phone. A tumult, right, is a loud, confused noise, especially one caused by a large mass of people. It's like a riot. That's really what it is. They're making noise. They're getting agitated. The enemies of the Most High are getting agitated. And we're going to see why. Let's keep reading. "And they that hate thee have lifted up the head." Shalom to Officer Adayara, Yabash, and Shrakata, whatever, for tuning in on one. What does it mean they have lifted up the head? The enemies of the Most High lifted up the head. Why? What's the opposite of lifting up your head? Is to bow down. Is to bow your head down, meaning you submit. So if the opposite is to bow your head down and to submit, if you lift up the head, means what? Means you don't submit. Means you're a challenger. The enemies of the Most High are making noise and they're challenging him. They say, yeah, Wagwan. They want to fight. And see, don't be surprised that some people want to fight the Most High. Oh, oppressor thinks he's a god. He wants to be revered as a god. The other nations want you to be submissive to them and revere them as their gods. They're forced you to revere their gods. And they become a god to you because you have to go to them for every single thing. Now, even you identifying as a Moor, like I mentioned in the beginning, is so stupid that you say you're a Moor and you're the original Muslim. Imagine that. Now you invent an identity to yourself because a Moor. For those who don't know, we're going to cover that in history classes. It's usually just an umbrella term for 3 or 4 different nations. There's not even one specific nation, right? And then you have to appropriate the religion of a nation that is no different than the Christians, a nation that had you in captivity as well. Imagine that. This is how sick we are in the head. But let's get back to it. The enemies of God are making noise. They're getting agitated. And they're challenging him. They're not submitting to the Most High yet. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. These enemies have communed together. They gathered together in a council. They had a meeting. That's what a council is. They sat down all together. This is like the United Nations of the enemy of God. You understand? And they've taken a crafty counsel against the people of the Most High. We already know who the people of the Most High is, the children of Israel. Throughout the Bible, it says he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's the God of the children of Israel. It's always a possessive pronoun that comes at the God of a specific people, not the God of the planet Earth. He's not the God of white people. He's not the God of the Arabs, the Asians. He's the God of the children of Israel. He told the nation of Israel coming out of Egypt that I will be your God and you shall be my people. He didn't say that to the Egyptians. He said that to the nation of Israel, the Israelites. You understand? So these nations, these enemies are sitting down together and they're plotting against the people of God. Let's keep reading. And consulted against thy hidden ones. Psalm chapter 83 verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. This is the reason why you identify yourself with, they'll tell you everything. They'll tell you know what? The Filipinos will say, well, we're related to black people because black people were here in the Philippines before. So you could associate yourself with them. The white man will say, well, you know what? You are an African in America, so you are an African American. You're an African in the Caribbean. You're an African Caribbean. You're an Afro-Latino or whatever nonsense they say. The East Indians are saying, yeah, we're mixed with black people. Whenever it benefits them, really, most of the time they despise your guts, anyways. But all these nations are coming together so that they'll tell you all sorts of stuff so that you don't identify yourself as a real Jew. Even when there's a clip of this Israeli guy, he says, yes, the Jews are black. But here's the plot twist. He's not talking about you. He's making it seem like, yeah, the Ethiopians over there are the Jews and they're black. And for you to identify yourself as a Jew, you have to say that, like most of the Rastafarians say, we are the children of Ethiopia. We're not. The Bible says in Zephaniah 2:12, the Ethiopians shall be slain by the sword. Yeah. The Ethiopians are the Babylonians of antiquity. All that, what is it? The Horn of Africa, Ethiopia, what's over there again? The Somalis, the Eritreans. These are the Babylonians of antiquity. You understand? But all these nations will never tell you who you truly are. What's the benefit in telling a slave that he's supposed to be the master? He's supposed to rule everything. He is the chosen one. To what avail? Really, it benefits them anyways, in a sense where peace will be on earth, finally, when we'll be ruling. But we can't be ruling if we don't know that we're supposed to rule. But the point is, these nations all came together to destroy you. They're dividing you on purpose. They're saying, you can't be brothers with the Latinos. You don't even have the same phenotypes. You don't even have the same skin tone, hair texture. This is idiotic as hell. Because you would go, if you go to them Arab countries, right? A lot of the Arabs don't even look the same. They know they're Arabs. They know who's a descendant of the Arabs. They know who is a descendant of the Greeks. They know their history. You go to Africa, you have You have 10 different skin tones in Africa. Have you seen the hair of some Ethiopians? Almost look straight. Ethiopians look like slender Africans. Them near look like East Indians and Arabs. But they know they're Africans. There's no denying, yeah, you know what? They're Africans. No matter how dark they are, no matter how light they are, they know they're Africans. You go to that region of India where there's Indians, Pakistanis, Bengalis, Sri Lankans. They know they're the same people. They're only divided because the white man's a devil, but that's irrelevant. But they know they're people. Whether they're dark, light, you know, slightly curled hair, straight hair, they know they're people. The only people who's really confused because and who's focusing on colorism is you. The Asians know who's Asians. They know the Filipinos, they know the Thai, they know the Cambodians, the Chinese, the Japanese. They're not denying their people. It don't matter it don't matter the skin complexion they have or the hair texture. You're the only people who's focused on that. And guess who told you that? Guess who taught you to divide yourself because of colorism? Your oppressors. Your oppressors taught you to divide yourself because of colorism. Then you want to go about joining yourself to oppressors because what? The one drop rule that was made up by some racist white man? Listen, the one drop rule that says that you are black because you might have a black ancestor or some stupidness like that came about. I'm going to bring this up, not this Sunday, but next Sunday we're going to resume the history class, right? I'll bring this up at some point where that devil, I forgot his name, but I think it's called Mein Kampf or Hitler's book. Hitler's book was this devil's Bible. And he's the one who came up with the one drop rule. Imagine that. You understand? And because of that, you think Bob Marley is a brother when he's not. The Bible says you're the seed of your father. If you go by your records, you will not be confused about anything. You wouldn't ask yourself, well, should we unite with the Latinos and the natives? Or should we separate ourselves because, you know, we're not the same people? You wouldn't have to ask yourself these questions if you knew who you were, if you knew your true identity. You don't know because besides the fact that the white man is the devil and he's a liar about everything, you don't know because you were robbed of your heritage. You don't know because you decided to turn your back against the Most High. You decided to let go of your heritage and just leave it there for anybody to take, to steal from you. Now you have got them imposters over there, the people who are bombing Palestinians to smithereens, claiming your identity. That's why the world is in turmoil right now, because they're the ones calling themselves Jews, but they're not. You know? That's the problem. The solution is for you to come back to your true identity, your true culture, who you are. That'll fix the problems of the planet Earth. If y'all missed the history class yesterday, Damgabar brought out how everywhere our oppressor goes, death follows him. Listen, our oppressor complains about the ozone layer, the animals being. Listen, guess what? We thought that it was a tragedy that there's no more black rhinoceros. There's no more white rhinoceros either. From what? For like a couple months ago. Every our oppressor goes, death follows. Imagine such a monstrous bastard that he went to uninhabited islands and just to kill the animals and to claim the land as his own. It's never enough. You understand? And because of these same people, it's like it's not enough to rob them of their culture. It's not enough to rob them. They have to steal everything. They stole your records. They're trying to steal your style, but you might steal the recipe, but it ain't gonna taste the same. You know, we the salt of the earth, not you. The point is for you to fix all the problems, for all the good night. The right man is such a devil. They even make the insects go extinct. They they extinguished a butterfly in the United States. That's how much of a devil he is. The point is to remedy to all that death, all these extinctions, whatever the case is, you have to be in rulership. To let the earth finally heal, you have to be in rulership. You have to be in power, not these devils. That's the problem with it. Why do you think they're fighting in the Middle East? The second president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, said the Middle East will never be the same because the Jews left black and they came back white. And we will never accept those people claiming the land as their own when they're not even indigenous to the land. Everybody knows that. It's not a secret. But guess what's not a secret either? That these nations, regardless of the truth, they are coming together against you. Regardless of the beef they have amongst each other, they're coming together against you. Let's go back to it. Psalm chapter 83, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You think even though he said the real Jews left black and came back white, you think he told you which melanated people that are called black are the real Jews? When I say that, because most of the time when they say black, it's talking about, Judites. Then you might have Caribbean people. But on the French spectrum, they call Africans black as well. They call the Polynesians black because they're melanated. The difference is they have their identity. No matter the amount of melanin they have, they still have their identity. The only people, being quote unquote black is not enough. Having a certain hair texture is not enough. Having been colonized is not enough as far as a a prerequisite for you to be an Israelite. Our president colonized the whole planet. That doesn't make everybody an Israelite. You understand? You have to go through these curses. Your heritage has to be robbed. You don't even speak your own language no more. Those are proof that you are Israelites. You understand? You can't even unite with your own people because you don't know who your people is. They make sure that you don't know that you're Israelites, right? But we'll start right there with Psalms. Just so you know, you could go down the chapter, you'll understand who are these enemies of the Most High. It's talking about Psalm chapter 83, and none of them says Satan, says the red devil. That's not what it says. The enemies of God have been identified in Psalm chapter 83, and it doesn't say some supernatural being with horns on its head and a pitchfork and a tail and some goat feet. That doesn't say that. The church taught you that. The house of lies taught you that. Well, guess what? Welcome back to the home of the truth. The Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. You understand? Now, what do we have to understand is what? We're in perilous times right now where all we have is brotherhood. That's it. That's really it. And what we see that what? Last week or 2 weeks ago? You can't learn brotherhood from an oppressor. You can't learn brotherhood from nations that... Where are you going to learn brotherhood from? From white people who hate white people? You're going to learn brotherhood from Muslims? There's like 3 different sects of Muslims. There's the Sunni, the Shia, and some other type of Muslims in Saudi Arabia. How are you going to learn brotherhood from them when they divide themselves? Lebanon say, if you're gonna think you're gonna make up Sunni Muslims versus Sunni Muslims, think again. We're not going at it against each other. Where are you gonna learn brotherhood from? In the church? We have the Christian, the Catholics, the Baptists, the Mormons, I think the Amish, or pretty much the same as the Mormons. Who cares? There's no brotherhood outside the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, because unlike some of these that I just mentioned, we don't just read the Bible; we live it. Where it says to love thy neighbor as thyself. We don't just read it out loud, we live it. The Christians are hypocrites. The Muslims claim that the Quran is the completion of the Bible, where it's the total opposite. You understand? To be able to know how to love one another, you have to come to these classes, and you will understand that you have. It's not you should. You have to unite with the Mexicans. You have to unite with the so-called Native Americans, because we're one and same people. Our fight is the same. Our struggle is the same. Have you seen the pictures they're putting out of alligator Alcatraz? These are, I think, also, I forgot the brother name in Cali. He made a good comparison, because these look like the postcards from back in the days when brothers and sisters in the South were on the postcard as gator babies. Yeah. Like, you look at these pictures they're putting out, you know, of alligator Alcatraz, they look like the postcards during slavery. And it's not a coincidence, because they know we're the same people. They're damn near telling you y'all are the same people. These are just Spanish-speaking niggas, and you just say English or French-speaking spick. That's it. But you're the same. You know, there's no difference. You're the same people. And when you're gonna have, it's gonna be like time like no other for you to realize that you're not safe because you're so-called Black Canadian, Black American, whatever. You're not safe from deportation. Don't believe that lie. And if you think you're safe because you have citizenship, you know, because listen, who told you you have the right to be a citizen in the first place? You know, who told you that? Listen, if you have the right to be treated like an American and not your Mexican brothers, why are you still being unalived by the police? Why is there no justice for you? Why is there any such thing as white privilege? Why do we have to target you? See, you're not making sense. You're just spewing out the same hate that you learned from your oppressor. When the Bible says, learn not the ways of your oppressor. When we go by the Bible again, because this is our history book. This is our record. This is our Constitution. This the same way you go by the American Constitution, the Canadian, or any constitution of any country you're living in, right? You go by these because these are the rules on how you should conduct yourself, right? These are the rules on what is allowed, what is not allowed. Guess what? The Bible is your rule book. Just like the Constitution is your rule book in the land that you're staying in, that you're living in. The Bible is your Constitution wherever you are. You get me? You go to Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. It's lucky. Let me share my screen. This is part of your Constitution. It says, Proverbs 3 and 31, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. In that, you're doing the exact opposite. You're doing the exact opposite. Donald Trump said, well, they're all rapists and they're all rapists and criminals. You believe it. You don't even believe it. You're just repeating whatever Trump says. You're just repeating whatever any devil says. They're stealing your jobs. What black men you seen working in the field picking fruits? When have you ever, listen, it is stealing the jobs. Tell me, when's the last time you seen brothers and sisters in the field picking fruits, vegetables, onions? You never seen that. You understand? Stop just repeating what the white man says. He is the devil the Bible speaks of. Devil, he's a liar. He's a deceiver. They're telling you, well, these are rapists. Meanwhile, and criminals. Meanwhile, the president of America is a felon and an actual rapist. And he's on the Epstein list. Good night. He's a pedophile. He's a PDF file. Good night. And he's the same people, and he's the same guy that campaigned and said, well, we can't let Mexicans in. Haiti's a shithole country. Puerto Rico is just trash floating in the sea. That's what he said. He's an openly racist PDF file, rapist, felon. And all of these, and one of the things he said is that we're going to deport all the criminals. Damn near 80% of the people he's deporting, if not 90, have no criminal record. And you don't see him going, I'm not saying that he should, but you don't see him going and arrest gang members or whatever the case is. He's just arresting like people who are trying to make a living by working in the fields, by working at Home Depot, or whatever the case is. That's who. He's not arresting criminals. Like, he's not even deporting people that are already incarcerated. No. He's just deporting your neighbor that just came. Salakia. In 1 second. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. That's what happened. Technical difficulties. Don't ask me why. Just know that it's all the white man's fault. Yeah? The white man's the devil. Our president. We stand, and divided we fall. When I'm talking about we, I'm not talking about the human race. I'm talking about so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. As soon as we speak about us coming together, you already know that our oppressor has to try and destroy our plans to come together. Well, guess what? This is not a plan that we came up with. We didn't come up with a strategy. The Most High did. He can stop what the Most High is doing. You could try, but I mean, you're gonna fail miserably. The Most High will make you an example. Yeah, just know that the technical difficulties because our oppressor is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, right? Now let's go back to where we were. You understand? Donald Trump never had there was the goal in general was really to oppress you even more. That's biblical. Our oppressor knows his time is coming to an end. This is why he's going to oppress you even more. He's not going to give you any breaks. You're not going to be able to breathe. You're not going to be able to rest. This is not your rest. Stop trying to fix America. You thought Y'all thought that you were part of the plan when Trump said, make America great again. And you were part of America being great, as in, yeah, you know, we're gonna, I don't even know what y'all were thinking. The point is, America was only great for a certain people. It was never great for us. America was great. America became great because of the genocide of the natives, the Latinos, the so-called blacks, us being enslaved. It became great for the other nations. Why? Because after us being decimated, guess who was able to move in? We protest for rights, march left and right, and guess who's able to have rights? You know, not us. You understand? Shalom Yahweh Shemala Thaba Hashem Yahweh Shai to for two it says. You thought you were part of the greatness of America. You thought you were going to be on the good side of America being great. America was never great for you. It was never meant to be great for you either. Canada, America, the UK, all these so-called kingdoms that are oppressor is over, are only great because you're oppressed. They can only be running smoothly because of your blood, sweat, and tears. That's the fuel of our oppressor's kingdom. Well, guess what? That fuel is running out. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 4, verse 22. Yeah? Lamentations chapter 4. Let me show you that fuel is running out. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 22 says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. Why? Because us going to captivity was always a punishment. We went captives against, you know, we were captives by the Moabites. I think that's in Judges chapter 3, the Philistines, the Persians, the Greeks. We were captured by all these nations. Why? Because every single time after Egypt, we keep sinning. We keep turning our backs against the Most High. Well, guess what? Our punishment is being accomplished. We're at the end. You see, when you put your child on timeout for 5 minutes, our 5 minutes is about to be over. You know what? Our 5 minutes was 500 years. It's about to be over. You understand? The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. This is our last captivity. We will not be enslaved anymore. When our kingdom is established, we're ruling forever. This is time, like we spoke about not last week, but 2 weeks before, right? This is high time for you to change right now. To stop smoking weed, to stop smoking, period. To stop being a whore, to stop being a homo. It's time for you to change your life around and come back to following the laws, statutes, and commandments. Because in the kingdom, when the kingdom is established, there's not going to be a grace period for you to change. Off with your head. We're not going in captivity no more. You understand? The captivity that we're in right now is the last one. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Listen, who's the daughter of Edom? This is letting you know that this is the people who is ruling over us. It's not the government, not the Illuminati. You know, I don't know what people say. People say the lizard people. I don't know. People say stupid shit all the time. Salaki. You know, we're captive under the white man. Is that simple? You're still a slave, but this is your last captivity. You know, this is not your time for you to rest. Is not right now. It's not when a new president come. It's not by you joining the police force and making a change. It's not by you trying to run for prime minister of whichever country you're in. No, it's never going to change. The Bible says it. This is not our rest. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, because know this is our last captivity. The place that you're in, you're not going to be able to change your place of captivity by being what? Listen, who was it? Joseph was had a high position of power in Egypt. We were slaves in Egypt. Moses got raised by Pharaoh's daughter. We were still slaves in Egypt. Like, see, that's a problem again. If you keep learning from an oppressor, You're never going to understand. Right? Cornelius was a centurion in Rome. We were still slaves. They were in the system. You cannot make a change from the inside. You know what Moses had to do? He had to get out of the system. You cannot make a change from the inside. You can't. If you go by your historical archives, you would understand that you can't become a cop. You cannot become a mayor. You can't run for you can't run for president. Listen, I think who said that? Wycliffe said he will run for president one time, I think, or some like that. You're not gonna make a change. Yeah, Wycliffe said he wanted to be president of Haiti. To what avail? You're still gonna beef with Dominicans. You're still gonna go to war with the other islands. Why? Because you being president of Haiti, that doesn't mean that they know they're Levites. It doesn't bring us back to our law, statutes, and commandments, which is a solution. Us coming back together under one banner. And we're only doing that in the I.S.U.P.K. But the point is, you cannot change the oppressive system from within. Moses is the proof. Joseph couldn't change the system of Egypt. He just saved them from a famine. But he couldn't prevent the Egyptians enslaving us. The fact that he was in the Egyptian government did not, even after his death, it did not prevent the Egyptians from enslaving us. Who else? Listen, I think it's King Saul. King Saul was told to I think it's King Saul, if I'm not mistaken, right? He was told to unalive all the Amalekites. He spared one. Did it stop the Jewish men from unaliving you? The Amalekites is like the deadly rival amongst all the Edomites. It didn't stop them. You can't change the oppressive system from the inside. You have to do like Moses and change it from the outside. That's what you have to do. That's the only thing. Listen, when it says, come out of her, my people, this is exactly what Moses did in Egypt. You understand? Let me get Micah 2:10 first, and then we'll get back to that. Get Micah 2:10. Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Salakia. Any questions or comments, put it in the chat. Micah chapter 2, verse 10 says, arise ye and depart. It doesn't say change the system from within. It says depart. But again, it's not physical. Understand this. Wherever you go, our oppressor is ruling the whole planet. You're going to go to Colombia. The president of Colombia is a Spaniard. You're going to go to Mexico. The president of Mexico is a Jewish woman. You go to Dominican Republic, if I'm not mistaken, the president is Lebanese. Wherever you go, we have oppressors ruling over us. Even if you're in Jamaica, listen, you're in Jamaica, he's following after the white man. President of Jamaica, even though it's a brother, he's following after the white man. Even then, becoming president of a country, listen, even if you're the president of Haiti, who set up that system as far as having a president? You understand? Who set up that government structure? Who set that up? You understand? It says, arise ye and depart. You have to separate yourself from the oppressor, from this oppressive system. You cannot change it from the inside. You can't. It's that simple. Moses couldn't. He arose and he departed, and the people went with him. You get me? This is what you have to do. You have to separate yourself from this system, not from the place where the system was set up, because wherever you're going to go, this is going to be a safe system. You want to talk about the New World Order? Everybody's the righteous New World Order is the order under us, under the Israelites. Now that New World Order where they talk about the Illuminati, the evil running over the earth, and it's been in place. All nations under one government. Listen, everybody follows after America. You understand? But It says, arise ye and depart. Why? Because you cannot change the system from within. Let's keep it reading. For this is not your rest. It doesn't matter who you're going to vote for. You're not going to fix Haiti. You're not going to fix Martinique. You're not, work with the people. You're not going to fix Venezuela. You're going to fix Mexico. Because this is not your rest. This is your place of captivity. The proof is you're in the country of calling yourself by all types of names besides Issachar, besides Benjamin, besides you being a Levite. You say you're Haitian, or you're a Moor. You should follow voodoo and Santeria or whatever nonsense, stupid that you were taught. You understand? This is not your rest. Because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. You get me? This is not a place for you to lay your head down and be like, finally, we can finally be at peace. At peace where? You're enslaved. There's no peace for a slave. You understand? This is not your rest. They work you to the bone till the bones are brittle. That's how you are in this empire. You understand? Shalom, Adawan, YAHANNA, Officer Matabar in the building. Right? So, Lucky, I'm going to send the link to Officer Matabar for him to join. But know this. This is not your rest. It is polluted. It is not a place where you could thrive at all. You understand? That's why you can't change this system. This system is put in place so that you are oppressed. Okay, how could I put it again? Really, the oppressed is only in power because the oppressed is only in power because there's a people they oppress. If there's no people to oppress, the kingdom, their kingdom is falling apart. And that's every nation we were under. The Romans were oppressing us. When the Romans ruled, sidebar, when the Romans ruled in North Africa, if it was not for them oppressing the North Africans, they would not be ruling over that land. You understand? That's just how it works. And stop. Listen, even when you believe what the white man says, we are the world, we are the children, we are all human beings. Show a kingdom that was saying we are the world and we are all equal. What kingdom said that? What kingdom had no enemies? It was all about peace. It was all about we are all human beings. Who said that? Who ever actually lived it? We are all human beings. We don't have enemies. We're the human race. The white man is such a devil. Like, he'll make you believe words that he don't even go by. If we're all human beings and we're all the human race, why y'all bombing the Palestinians? I thought we're all human beings, right? If we're all human beings, why are you mass deporting the Mexicans? Aren't they human beings? Why are you separating families? You understand? Shalom. So we got Officer Matabar joining us from Louisiana. But here's the point. The point is, white people don't even believe what they preach. They don't even believe what they teach. That's what they teach you. They don't care about that. You are still 3/5 of a man. You're not even, good night. So stop listening to white people. And tell you, vote this and vote that, we'll fix it. We can fix it together. We can end racism together. If your constitution, not the one he made up, not the one he gave you, but the one God gave you, it would tell you can't change the system from within. And that's proven in multiple instances. You understand? And there's no gray area or exceptions. Saul tried to make an exception and leave one Amalekite alive. The Bible says Amalekite are deadly enemies, are deadly rivals till the end, forever. Moses didn't try to change the system of Egypt from within. He arose, he departed, He came back, saved the people. He didn't say, yeah, we're going to get into the upper echelons of the government of Egypt and live side by side with the Egyptians. We're going to do that. No, he never said that. If you knew you were Israelite, you would know those stories. All these nations go by stories of their people. The great Sultan of whatever, wherever there were sultans in Arabia, Turkey. Ask the Turkish people about the Ottoman Empire. Ask the Armenians. Every single nation knows the story of their people. You don't know that you should never be joining from the inside of a government because you don't know the story of your people. Don't know the story of Moses. Don't know the story of who was it? Who was the brother again? Was it Daniel? We're gonna go over these as well. But the point is, you can't change that system from within. You can't. What's the sister name again in New York? Like Ocasio-Cortez? You can't be in any government. You can't be in the Cuban government. You can't be in the politics in France, in the UK, in Australia. You can't make a change and be like a figure like, what's the brother name? LeBron James, talk about black issues. They're going to tell you, shut up and dribble, nigga. And that's all you're here for. It was commendable for Colin Kaepernick to take a knee, but really, it's not going to change that the NFL is a racist place. You want to know how you know what have made a change? What would have made a change in the NFL is that all these brothers, blacks, Latinos, and natives in the NFL just leave. Just leave the NFL. Y'all paid millions of dollars. You can make up your own league. Just leave the NFL. That's it. We look at Jay-Z like he's a role model. Jay-Z said he's trying to derail Colin Kaepernick. Jay-Z worked for the white man. You can't change that system from within. I think he tried to come up with his own like music platform title. For what? He still worked for Jewish people, for the Amalekites that Saul decided to keep alive. You have to separate yourself from these people and come back together. That's the solution. Let's finish the verse and then we'll go to Revelation chapter 18, yeah? And Jeremiah 51 as well. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. Why? Because you're thinking, you know what? We're Americans. This is the place where we're coming to thrive. It's not. I'm not saying it's not a bit better. I'm not saying, listen, don't come to America. Don't come to Canada. It's going to be the same. The living conditions are clearly not the same as if you're in Caracas in Venezuela. In the Caribbean islands, you can't even drink tap water. You probably won't be able to drink tap water anytime soon anywhere anyways. But the point is, yes, the living conditions are not as bad, but don't think you're going to establish yourself and be like, you know what, finally I can rest. Finally, I can stop looking over my shoulder, because you're going to get a police officer to hit you across the side of the head with a police baton and be like, damn, I thought the police were racist in Colombia. I guess they are as racist in Montreal. Yes. You know, don't think you're going to finally be able to rest. The Bible tells you when you're going to be able to rest. Let me get Revelations 18 first. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. It's like the other one. If you want to chime in at any time, yeah? Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. It says to separate. It doesn't say change the system from within. That's what Moses did. Moses came out of Egypt. It was not about running from Egypt physically. To be able to separate from Egypt physically, he had to separate spiritually from Egypt. You understand? All the people had to separate spiritually from Egypt. They had to worship their God. That's what they had to do. You can't change that system from within. You're going to destroy us. Listen, in the book of Maccabees, you had sellouts that said, let's join the Greeks because, we feel better under the Greeks. Just like these brothers when they came out of Egypt to say, yeah, you might as well be better off going back to Egypt. We had fish, we had spices. And with Moses, we just had tasteless bread, tasteless manna, right? They want to be comfortable slaves. The same way in the book of Maccabees, they want to be comfortable slaves. But guess what? Even though you join them, they're still gonna unalive you. The Greeks put out a decree saying, listen, you're not allowed to profess yourself as a Jew. You're not allowed to speak Hebrew. You're not allowed to observe the Sabbath. You have to eat pork. Like, they forced you to sin. And if you didn't obey the decree of the king during the book of Maccabees, you were put to death. You were put to death for just obeying the law. Imagine that. Listen, it's not even funny, but it was like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because if you don't follow the laws, you're going to be the Most High will kill you. This is Baruch chapter 4:1. Listen, if you don't follow the laws, you'll die. If you follow the laws under the Greeks, you still die. It's better to die honorably, though. Right? The point is, even if you decide to join your oppressor, he's still going to kill you. He's still going to get rid of you. You're not going to be you can't be a patriot. The only way you could be a good so-called patriot is by, following the law, statutes, and commandments. This is the only one you have to pledge your allegiance to is the Most High God of the children of Israel. The only one and true living God.
Damn right. How about you, Shabbat?
How about you, Shabbat, sir? So, like, when you wanted to chime in,
I'll chime in a little bit. You got it. You good right now. The water.
Kawuka, sir. But again, this is what Moses had to do. This is what other brothers had to do. It says, well, read it again. Revelations 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. You have to separate yourself from this oppressive kingdom. Meaning you have to stop following the ways of this kingdom. You have to stop being a drug addict. They're promoting drug use like it's like drinking water. And the crazy part is, water will get you to live. Drugs will get you to die. They have on the packs of cigarettes, it says, don't smoke while you're pregnant. And all the pregnant women smoke everything. Weed, cigarettes, crack. Imagine that. It says, don't smoke. It will kill you. And y'all buying the packs. Y'all buy a pack a day. A lot of y'all buying a pack a day. It says, don't smoke. It will kill you. That's crazy work. All you have to do is don't smoke. Not because weed has been legal throughout Canada for what now? Damn near 8 years. That doesn't mean that you should smoke weed. What does it say? Don't it's like, what's that precept again? Let me get it real quick. The wisdom of the world or the knowledge of the world. So like, I forgot.
I think it is. Yeah, something like that. The knowledge of the world is foolishness.
Karawakan. Let me get that real quick, right? So, yeah, I have it right here. Damn, I had it right here. Where is it? It's in the New Testament somewhere, right? The point is, the knowledge of this world will tell you what? That you're living an alternative lifestyle. Right? The knowledge of God tells you that if you're a sodomite, you'll be put to death. Your blood will be upon you. Guess what? You get monkeypox and then you bleed from everywhere. It's like you understand? Let me get that real quick. This says smoking is helpful. Smoking really kills you. This is why I thought, yeah. This is the 1 Corinthians. Let me go to 1 Corinthians. chapter 3. I'm starting at verse 18, yeah? 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18 says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Listen, don't let no man deceive himself thinking, he's smart. Really not. He's an idiot. You hear people say all types of stupidness today. Yeah. Smoking takes away cancer. Smoking causes cancer. What do you mean? It says it on the pack of cigarettes. And y'all smoke all the weed in the world saying, well, it helps with the cancer. Nigga, it doesn't. Now, even those who are prescribed weed for whatever medical ailment, if you had the knowledge of the Mosai, you would not be smoking that weed that's prescribed to you. Probably would drink it in a tea, or however you would find a way to ingest it by not smoking and by not wanting to have the purpose of getting high either. You understand? You say it takes away my back pain. Your drug dealer is not a chiropractor. You have back pains, go to the chiropractor. Stop thinking you're smart because of what the world tells you. And you look smart. People are looking at you like, you know what? He's not an idiot. Y'all listen to Bob Marley saying all types of foolishness when this man smoked all the weed in the world and still died of cancer. Imagine that. Man had to get his foot cut off or his toe cut off. Y'all listening to all the Rastafarians thinking, they have the science. And y'all not going to libraries because this is where the lies are buried. Y'all sound stupid as hell. Y'all just open up this Bible, you'll understand that you're not as smart as you think you are. And really, being smart is good. But sometimes you're too smart for your own self. Because what really matters is not how smart you are. God don't give a damn about that. The only thing he cares about is obedience. That's the only thing that matters in the Bible. Verse 19. 1 Corinthians 3:19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Well, till you're living an alternative lifestyle. God, where is that in the Bible? The wisdom of the world says children can change and they can identify themselves as a boy can want to be a girl and a girl can identify as a boy. Where's that in the Bible? They say we'll end racism with interracial marriages. God said, hey, Lord be with you. The wisdom of this world talks about freedom of religion. There is no such thing as freedom of religion. There is only one God. The Most High Power, the God of the children of Israel. The wisdom of this world is stupid. They tell you smoke weed, you cure cancer when smoke causes cancer. So like they say pork. What do they say about pork? They say pork is the new white meat. No diddy. Guess what? Pork will kill you. What did it say again? What's some of the thing people say in the world? Because this is the thing. When you come into the truth, you barely pay. Like, see, this is another reason you have to understand that the word world doesn't mean the whole planet Earth. Because I'm not in the same world. I'm not of the same world. I'm so like oblivious to a lot of things that are the stupidness that happen in the world, right? When you're in the truth, you're going to develop like that at some point. It doesn't mean you can't watch cartoons or movies, but you have a different perspective on how you carry yourself. You're not of the same world. Like people are focused right now on Hulk Hogan. Listen, y'all remember Hogan, but y'all forgot he said, yeah, if my daughter could marry like a rich nigga, I don't mind. And he said it with a hard R. The crazy part, that's the part that y'all don't want to remember about Hulk Hogan. But we're not in the same world in a sense where while y'all focus on Hulk Hogan, I forgot the brother that died, Theo and Ozzy Osbourne. Cambodia is bombing Thailand. Most High in Christ, the earth is rotating faster, making the days shorter, as Christ prophesied. See, we're not in the same world. You focus about trivial stuff. I mean, may the brother rise again. And who cares about the racist Hulk Hogan and the drug addict Ozzy Osbourne? Who gives a damn? You know, the foolishness of the world tells you to get a higher valued man that makes 6 figures, 7 figures. According to that wisdom, y'all, a lot of y'all women should chase a nigga like Diddy or R. Kelly. According to the wisdom of the world, they're high valued men. The wisdom of the world tells the man to tap into his femininity. The Most High is a man of war. The Most High doesn't have a feminine side. You understand? The wisdom of the world will make you I was about to say the wrong word. The wisdom of the world will make you a sodomite. The wisdom of the world will make you a drug addict. For those who don't know, sir, and to anyone over here, for those who don't know, if you go to the west coast of Canada, in British Columbia, in the city of Vancouver, every single drug is decriminalized. You could get high on meth, you could get high on crack, cocaine, you could get high on fentanyl, as long as you don't exceed a certain amount that you carry on you. That's it. A devil, that was 2 years ago. A devil had, just like they have weed shops, this man was selling crack, cocaine, fentanyl out of a shop. He's selling just a small enough dose that you can't get arrested if you get caught with it. It's just a recreational dose. That's the wisdom of the world. Canada says get high as much as you want. Just don't carry an ounce of crack. Just carry that little rock, smoke it, and come back. That's the wisdom of the world. You understand? It's stupid. You should not get high. That's it. It's that simple. That's why you have to separate yourself. Let's go back to Revelation 18:4. It says, Revelation 18 verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. Separate yourself. This is your wisdom. This is your knowledge. This constitution, not the Constitution of Canada that says get high and come back. Not the one that say, yeah, let's embrace interracial marriage. Not Japan is paying black men what, 80 grand, 85 grand to make babies in Japan. That's the wisdom of the world. The wisdom of the Lord says you should not marry with any other nation. No matter what's listen, God doesn't give a damn if you broke as hell. You're not going to go to Japan to get paid 85 grand to make Japanese baby. I'm gonna say that Japanese babies to breed a Japanese girl. You're not going to do that. Why? Because it's a sin. Most like just like he takes care. It's what Matthew chapter 6. He takes care of the flowers. It just have to be flowers. He takes care of the birds. It just have to be birds. He takes care of everything. He'll take care of you if you obey. That's it. So don't go to Japan for 85 grand. It's probably a scam anyways. But that's the wisdom of the world. We'll tell you, yeah, come to Japan. Get 80 grand. Just pop a few babies and just plant a seed in a few Japanese women. Guess what? You're going to get paid 80 grand, get put on child support, and you're going to have to pay the 80 grand to all these Japanese women you impregnated. That's what's going to happen. That's what it says again. Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. The only way you could come out of her is by abandoning the ways of your oppressor. That's the only way. By not voting anymore for anyone. Guess what? A lot of the Latinos marching down the streets crying about deportation. A lot of them are still Trump supporters. Imagine that. Whether they feel like they were deceived or not. Listen, some of these ICE agents fear for their life because a lot of them are brothers. They said they have to watch their backs constantly because they know they might be next. Guess what? Let them deport enough brothers and sisters, and then they're next on the list. They're next. Believe it or not. You know what? The only way for you to not fear for your life, fear for being deported, is by leaving just by leaving America spiritually. Don't work to oppress your brothers even more. That's the only thing you're doing. You're doing the devil's, the devil's bid. That's it. That's the only thing you're doing. You're never going to be able to rest easy. Whether you're ICE agent or not, you could be homeless and be a Trump supporter. You want to move to Canada and vote for, the liberal or the conservatives, it's not going to be different. You're going to go to the UK, pledge your allegiance to the crown. You go to France, wherever you go. People are going to Thailand because it's cheap. You're going to be oppressed in Thailand. A lot of y'all are drug addicts thinking y'all going to go over there and chill and it's peaceful. You're going to smoke weed. And just like Brittany Griner got incarcerated in Russia, listen, guess what? You smoke weed in one of these countries. Let's you get caught in the Philippines for drugs, you're getting put to death. Hey, y'all are thinking about that, right? There is no place for you to rest. It doesn't matter if you're an expat in Brazil. Doesn't matter if you move out the country. You're going to be oppressed everywhere you go. Even if you manage to find a comfortable position as a slave, you're still going to be oppressed. We just read Micah 2:10. Let's go back to it. Micah 2:10 said what? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It's talking about one people and one people only. People that's been slaving for so long, they have not been able to rest. It doesn't matter the amount of treaties they got that hasn't been respected. It doesn't matter the amount of what you call again? It doesn't matter the amount of false promises they were given. This is not a place for you to rest. It's not a place for you to lay your head down. So like I said, you want to chime in?
Salaki too. You right about that. Like, this ain't the place for you to, live prosperous. And like that last scripture say, come up out of her. This wasn't talking about you. I don't know if you said it, but talking about packing up and leaving America. Like, wherever you go, the curse is gonna follow you. Still gonna get treated the same way that you get treated here in America. You got it.
Khan, absolutely. I was speaking to one of my brethren. He's from Peru. He said, the war comes to Canada, I'm leaving to Peru. Peru's going to be bombed as well. Nowhere that we're going to go, we're going to be, if you're of the world, you're not going to be safe. The Most High said he is a buckler to those that trust in him. I'm slightly paraphrasing, right? He's a shield. He protects you if you trust in him. But if you trust in your oppressor, shame shall cover thee. Why? Because you trusted in your oppressor as opposed to trusting in the Lord. But now let me show you your rest and see how can we achieve that, because we're running short on time. Yeah, it's Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Again, the nation of the people of the Lord is the children of Israel, so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the 12 tribes. Doesn't say he chose the Arabs. He chose, we are the world, we are the children. The chosen people is the nation of Israel. And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Why? Because we'll be back in our own land. And these strangers is talking about, so like if I'm going a bit fast, we're running short on time. These strangers is talking about are these other nations, these heathens. Everybody will be in the kingdom, but unlike your make-believe utopia that you got from the white man, we won't not be on the same level. I'm going to show you. Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, will set them in their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them. in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. All these strangers, these Asians, these Polynesians, these Caucasians that you fight for so much. You fight for the Caucasian more than you fight for your own people. All them we will possess in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. So it's just another term for slaves. That's it. Let's keep reading. And it shall take them captives, whose captives they were. We were captives to all these nations. They're just like we were captives to them, they will be captives to us. And they shall rule over their oppressors. That's the kingdom of God. Kingdom of God is rulership. Matter of fact, I don't see how this is hard to understand. You look at the kingdom of every single nation of that had their kingdom established. It was about rulership. When it was the Persian Empire, it was the Persian rulership. You understand? The rulership of the Persian people. The Roman Empire was the rulership of the Roman people who were Caucasians. The Greek same. You have the Hindu Empire. Listen, we're going to go over the history of all these empires. Lord allow before Christ comes back. Right? For you to understand that an empire established is rulership established. Now that you have that simple concept understood, it means what? The kingdom of God is the rulership of God, the rulership of the people of God, the children of God, who are the Israelites. It's that simple. Like y'all making it seem like it's hard for you to understand. The Christian church makes you believe the kingdom of God is, I don't know, some stupidness in the sky. You're gonna hop from cloud to cloud around little white naked babies with wings. That's what the Christian church tells you because they have a pedophilic mindset. The kingdom is rulership. Every kingdom established is about the rulership of the people who established that kingdom. Well, the people who's going to establish the kingdom of God is the children of God, who are the Israelites. Therefore, it's going to be Israelite rulership. I'm going to show you in verse 3 that this is when you'll be able to rest. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 3. And it shall come to pass, meaning it will happen, in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. This is when you'll be able to rest. Not in America, not by making changes in the system, not by moving to Thailand. I don't even know why you would move to Thailand. I don't even know why you would move to a city, to a country that has a city named Bangkok. I have to question you. If you're in Sakari or if you're in the IUIC, I believe it. I have no issues believe that you would move to Thailand. But any other brother or sister, listen, as a matter of fact, if you're outside the I.S.U.P.K, I believe you if you tell me you moved to Thailand. I believe you. You understand? The point is, wherever you're going to move at, you will not be able to rest until your kingdom, your rulership is established. This is when you'll be able to rest, when you'll be ruling, when heathens will be serving you. Because there is no, how can I say it? I think there's no playing field. That's what they call it. You know, you can't be on the same level as them. You're supposed to be either above or below. They're not the same level. The only reason you think that is because the oppressor who's ruling over you teaches you, yeah, we can all be on the same level. How does that make sense if he's the one ruling? He's the one over everybody, but he tells you, yeah, we're all on the same level. Right. So like it, sir.
No, so like I was saying, right. Ask Nate. He probably go move to Africa. You know, take a bunch of privileges and go move straight to Africa. But yeah, you can't fall for that. Everybody equal, and we ain't equal to everybody. The oppressor ain't never showed us that we was equal. You don't get the same jobs they get. You don't make the same money they make. You don't even get the same neighborhoods they get. You get one or two Negroes that move into the neighborhoods and they still get treated like shit. But they got to do a lot of ass kissing to stay in that neighborhood. You got it.
And they still get kicked out. That's the crazy part. You know. But this is when you'll be resting. Now, let me show you a few things that need to happen before that kingdom is established. Because how are you going to establish a kingdom with people you don't even get along with? they don't even perceive as family. The kingdom is ruled by a certain people. It's established by a people. There is not one kingdom that was established with multiculturalism. There was always a ruling class that established their power, that established their rules, rulership, ruling. You understand? Someone has to establish these things. Again, it's the Israelites. But how can the Israelites establish their kingdom if they don't know who they are? How can a kingdom stand if it's divided? And the only reason the kingdom got divided is why? Because Solomon sinned. Matter of fact, we're going to do a part 2 of this class. Let me get this real quick. The first step. I'm going to do part 2 next week. This is the first step to establishing the kingdom. Let's go to Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. This is the book of Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, gather yourselves together. That's the first thing you have to do. You can't do that because you don't know that you should. You don't know you have to. Because you don't know you're the same people. I heard some Dominicans saying, yeah, we're proud of our Dominican culture. We speak Spanish. And you know how stupid you sound, as if the Tainos were speaking Spanish originally. Spanish was forced upon you, it's like French was forced upon the Haitians and some of the Caribbean islands. Just like Portuguese was forced on the Brazilian. Don't be proud of speaking Spanish. I'm not. And people tell me, yo, Mosai in Christ, Barak, you speak like 1,000 languages. You speak French. I hate French. I despise French like a kid despises vegetables. You understand? Don't think I love English more or I despise English less. I despise every single aspect of our oppressor's culture, whether it's from the religion to the, I don't even know what this is everything. The way they condition our sisters to be whores, our brothers to be homosexuals. Reject every aspect of this world. You understand? Gather yourselves together. It's talking about one people specifically. It's talking about the Israelites to come together again under one banner, under one umbrella. Not the Moorish umbrella. The Moorish umbrella encompasses heathens as well. It's come back to your own culture. Come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, to this constitution. Now, how are you going to follow a constitution of another people, but not even yours? How does that make sense? This is your constitution. It tells you, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Right. You understand? And again, you can see around the world, who's the nation not desired? You're not out of all the people that are being deported, where do you see the Asians being deported? The East Indians, the Africans, the Ukrainians, the Palestinians. They're focusing on so-called Latinos, on so-called Haitians, so-called West Indians, Brazilians. They never show you one Chinese man being deported back to China. As a matter of fact, all these heathens, even when they come here illegally, all the Chinese, they went through the Mexican border. They never trained them to send them back to China. Imagine that. Right. Imagine that. You are that nation not desired, so-called Black, Latino, Native American, Indian. You are the real biblical Jews of antiquity. You are the Israelites, and your kingdom will be established. Your rulership will be established, and this is when you'll be able to rest. Not before. But once the kingdom is established, you'll be able to rest. To lay your head down and be like, you know what? I don't have to worry about my bills. I don't have to worry about getting arrested, fearing for my life. I don't have to worry about my children disappearing. I think there was like 40 missing children in like 48 hours. That's crazy. And that's just in America, and that's just in the US. Our kingdom will be established. You will not hear about any movement called missing and murdered indigenous women. Why? Because they won't be missing anymore. They won't go missing. They'll be protected. Matter of fact, the heathens won't even have to worry about getting bombed because we'll be in rulership. Nobody will know about war anymore. Nobody will learn about genocide. The animals will not go extinct. Now, I had to save a bird a couple of days ago. You won't have to worry about saving the birds. You know, you won't have to worry about, well, the alligators are going extinct because they're making alligator shoes and alligator Birkin bags. It's unlawful to have certain things. It's unclean. You won't have to worry about crocodile shoes. That's unclean. We won't be doing that. You know, the point is, this is the first step. Why? Because when we're united, you're gonna see that the kingdom will never fall in the first place. But we have to be united in the first place. This is the first step. We have to come together. You know. Look at this. Under Solomon, before Solomon sinned, I mean, that wasn't rulership established yet, right? But when the kingdom fell, listen, it was bad. All because he went to sleep with a white woman and an African and a Chinese and worship their God. You understand? But the kingdom split, and then we were at odds. We were never safe. It doesn't matter if it was Solomon or when we were fighting with Joshua against these heathens. One man sinned and it affected all the nation. When the kingdom will be established, that'll be gone. You won't have to worry about, pork in your chips, in your toothpaste. You won't listen, you know what? I get mad every day because I go out the door and I smell cigarette smoke. I walk down I can't walk my dog without smelling weed or cigarettes from anybody who smoked on the sidewalk. Guess what? You won't have to worry about that in the kingdom. You will never smell a cigarette again. You won't have to worry about, should we turn on the TV and make sure that there's no homosexuals on the TV for my children to watch? You won't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about anything influencing the kids. You won't have to worry about nothing in the kingdom. And that's the only time you'll be able to rest. But first and foremost, we must come together. And this is why they don't want us to come together. Because united we stand, yet divided we fall. And one thing that they despise the most, they despise that even more than they despise the Arabs. They despise that even more than the Arabs despise white people, is that blacks, Latinos, and natives are coming together. We're going to end the class right here. We'll do a part 2 next week. The water for everybody who tuned in. You understand? We get the security announcements. We'll do a part 2 next week of the Brotherhood class where united we stand and divided we fall. Right? Y'all get ready to tune into John Hyman's scripture breakdown class on One West Online Classes YouTube channel. Yeah. We'll be back for our podcast this Sunday again. One West Ground Zero Radio hosted by Officer 1000 Nadiyar and myself. And again, the history classes will not resume this Sunday, but next Sunday. Stay tuned, Israel. The water again for all the brothers and sisters. I say Yahweh Shemar Katam to all the brothers and Yahweh Shemar Katam Bashim Yoshai to all the sisters. Get the security announcements and clap it up. This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering from priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, we have the memorial of blowing of trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month, which is be Sunday, the 21st of September, 2025. You can read more about it in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 to 25. Reminder to all Akim and Aquatin to check the bulletin board in the hallway of the school if they have a physical location. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Mina visual imajam, which means to stand, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Mina visual imajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Brakatam. Mean Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, which means to turn and face the sisters. If you have any in your presence, we'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Mina visual imajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatan Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Meaning Yahweh watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata, these hands down, class dismissed.
Check me out, dog. Roll the window up, man. The water. Ain't no better, dog, brother. The son of a king. I don't Balenciaga. I might just wear Kyla. I might just wear the Pradas. But I'm thinking long term, so I might say the dollars. We ain't no better. I'm just being honest. I should've went to college, but I was thinking violence. It's a one West world. We the fucking livest. Break it down, we break ground. We don't break no damn promise. Let's get active, dog. Don't tell me how you feel about it. These cats saying too much. They ain't learn enough. You maxed out the first quarter, I'm still warming up. These niggas tossing up a brick, they can't score with us. Who gon' come against us? On the Lord with us. Them niggas riding for you. Hope they ride till they crash. Put my name in your mouth, I put my belt to your ass. I ain't running no race, I just hope that I last. All them niggas you look up to, I consider them trash. Only time you seen a leader was in Wayne hand. Niggas will dap you, then pop you with the same hand. I'm a main player, I stick to the game plan. He don't really fuck with you, that's your main man. We them niggas came through and made your city hot. Yup, said he in the field, but he really not. And I ain't casting no stone, I just let him rock. And that's the kind of story they gon' read about. But if it's war, it ain't no tapping out. Grip still heat, spit like a dragon mouth.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.